All right. So the last time we spoke in class, we were doing some native HTML, CSS building of a div website just to practice. And this is kind of where we left off. This was our index.html page, just a structure with a bit of CSS, nothing too crazy. We also did an our team page, and this is what it looks like. Again, just a structure. And we also have two other pages, our product page, which has nothing on it, and we need to come up with something, and our contact page, which is also fairly blank. So, in the next couple of videos, I would like to come up with our product page and our contact us page. So, I've taken the liberty to kind of like do a little bit of wireframing, little sketching. So I did it of this is how I want the product page to kind of look. I mean, it doesn't have to look like this in the end totally, but this is what I envision, which pretty much is the same. The only difference is the top banner slash navigation and the footer are not in a container. Um, and we'll probably use CSS Grid to get our photos lined up real nice. And that's about it. And then I did another for this guy over here. And this is pretty much just, excuse me, just a contact us page, basic page where it has our street address, send us a message, maybe like name, email address, phone number, and a submit button. Still has a nav bar, header, footer, operating hours, um, and then like a where to find us, like maybe a little map that we can embed in there. So that's what I want to attack in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we can open up our project file that we had, which I have open here. So yeah, again, this is where we started. This is our team. Product is empty. Contact is empty. So let's go to Sublime Text. And we already created a projects slash products HTML document. It's pretty much just the same thing that we've had on all the other pages. So we have our doc type, our HTML, title, head, links to our style sheet. We have our container, we have our header, which is where our logo and stuff was, and then we have our nav bar, and then we have our heading class, which is actually just the products label or the products head H1 label tag, excuse me. Our products H1 tag, it's the proper term. And the footer. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So pretty much everything's going to stay the same here, but we have this heading class, and this heading class is currently what we see through most of our pages. Our team is part of the heading class in our CSS, as well as this product is the same heading. But I think I want it different because according to my drawing, I kind of want the heading to be smaller and maybe over to the left. I know I don't want it to look like our team here. I know I want the products heading to look a little different, so I'm going to make it a different heading class in the HTML. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it heading 2. Okay? So got another heading class called heading 2. Products obviously is the case for this page. And a container. So div class container. Now we already have one called container. It's up here. And that is this outer container here on the page. I want to do like an inner container to hold all of my different products in. So I'm just going to call that one container 2. All right. So I'm going to create divs holding a dummy image. Source. And we'll have to get an image. Let's go here. Let's close that. Div. Okay. So we need to get a dummy image to fit in there, and why that's important. So if we minimize this and we pop open the wireframe of what we're trying to make, you see these little images here. I want to find something that I can fit in there, just to hold as a placeholder for now. So let's see, let's X out of that. Let's go back here. Okay, we looked at this website before. It was called dummyimage.com, and it just allows you to put in whatever, I guess, dimensions that you would like to put in for your dummy image. So what I want to do is try to find something that I can use. Okay, 150 by 200. We'll put it in a PNG format. And then if you click on the image, you can save it. This is going to call my dummy image. Save it to desktop. Cool. So we can X out of that. We can go back to our div page, and you can see that the dummy image is here. So you can take that. I have a folder right here called images. You can take that, pop it right into the folder, and it will be there. So let's go back to this guy. So now, for me, we're gonna put the path in. My path is in my images folder. If you don't have an images folder, you won't put this path in. You would just put dummyimage.png if that's what you named yours, or whatever you named the image.png or JPEG, whatever you called it. So, but mine was in my images folder. and then I named it dummy image. And actually, it's JPEG. I know I said PNG, but it's saved as a JPEG in my folder. Okay, so if we go back to this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I've got 10 products that I want to display. So each one of these divs is supposed to be one of those product placeholders. I'm just going to copy it. And we're going to paste it 9 times. So we should have 10 in total. It's giving me a weird error there because I didn't close it. Now we can close the container 2 div. So, closed. We have the footer there. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to refresh it. Oh, I didn't even save it. Save it. Here we go. There we go. Products page. It's coming along. They're at least on there. They're all vertical. We want them to kind of be in a grid-like pattern going across the page. So we're going to go to our CSS styling sheet. And we left off down here with the footer. Okay, put it down here. So I'm gonna style the heading 2. So save the class, dot heading 2. And then let's make the color, which is the same. Font size. Let's see, make it about 16 pixels. Seems right. 11. Content. Align it to the center. Right now it's all lower. Well, it's not all lowercase. The first one, the first letter is obviously uppercase, right? But I want them all to be uppercase, which is how our team page is as well. So that's the transform command. Transform. I'm sorry. It's actually text transform. And then uppercase. There we go. Oops. And then the width. Have it at about 280 pixels. And the margins will be set at about 50. I mean, we can play with this later if it's not how we want it to look. Man, we're going to give it a line height as well. Line height, about 80 pixels. So, that's just the heading. Let me save that. Pulled it over. That looks pretty good. Kind of what I'm looking for. Awesome. So, next, the only other thing that we had on there was our container 2. But this container 2 is kind of important because it's going to be introducing something called CSS grid. I'm not a master at it. However, it has been very helpful to get things to be formatted correctly on pages, and you don't have to use divs for everything. We're using both a combination of the div and the CSS grid, but there's a bunch of different ways to do things with the CSS grid. It's pretty much going to create a 5-column by 2-row grid for us, which is a few lines of code. And it's going to be divided up perfectly. And yeah, let's just jump right in it. So let's go with container 2, right? And the first thing you do